Where are you stuck? DM stuff, player stuff, foundry stuff, and table stuff. If it's D&D, pull up and let's bullshit about it. I hope everybody is doing well tonight. A lot of cold happening out there. I thought that tonight we would talk about encounters. And I got a lot of things happening in the background apparently. That's good. That's good. I like it. So, tonight, again, I thought I'd talk about encounters. I know a lot of DMs have issues with encounters, whether it's balancing. Oh my god, I looked at the CR level and it said it was good. And no, I get it. It's sometimes a pain. And maybe some of the information I provide can help you. Maybe it doesn't. That's fine. We all got different DM styles, right? So, I going to pull up my foundry, my forge, whatever you want to call it. Who cares? All right, we've got. Hi, Adam. How are you doing? Oh, good. My chat's working today. Last time it didn't work at all. It was a real pain. Okay, so let's say, oftentimes we plan for, well, I plan for 4 people. So we'll plan for 4 people for tonight's. So we're going to go ahead and take Mr. Test Actor here, and we're going to make 4 of them. He happens to be level 8. We want him to, my goal is usually to make it to at least 3 rounds. Anything less than that tends to be anticlimactic. Obviously, I am not trying to make this a 10-round encounter. I find after about 6 or so, it becomes a little monotonous. I'm not saying I don't do it. I'm just saying I try not to make that my norm. So between 3 to 6 rounds is my goal. Yes, the character formerly known as Bramble. If y'all are staying up on the stream, you'll know that Mr. Bramble has been turned into a werewolf. It's very good. Oh, yeah, then he got the hell beaten out of him. Wrapped in ropes, nets. Surprised nobody had manacles. And then thrown into a sarcophagi, some air holes popped in, and then arcane locked. So, yeah, that's what my party did. It was super fun. Anna, and speak of the devil, Kyle, aka Bramble, the druid formerly known as Bramble. So, I thought. So one of the things I think of is, what is the theme I am going for here? It was a good Friday night for sure. But I want to think of the theme. Where are we going? Okay? In this instance, I want to take everybody to Avernus. No, I don't have a map for it. Actually, I probably have a map for it, but I'm not going to bring that up because I like my test map. So, Mr. Bramble here, all 4 of them, because his brother's name was Doppel, their family name is Ganger, and we're just going to go with that. So one of the tools I use is actually D&D Beyond's Encounter Builder. Okay? Right now I have 5 people. We're going to knock it down to 4. And before you get on me, I have a method to my madness. So cool. I have nothing over there. I've got 4 level 8 players. I am going to take this down to, let's go down to level 12 for CR. Let's see what that does for us. Good. So, okay. Now, the type of creature doesn't actually matter. Right now, we're just trying to figure out, what are we aiming for here? So, level 12 will give us a deadly encounter. Just on the tip of it. Now, what this doesn't take into account is magic items. It doesn't take into account tactics or compatibility. So, oftentimes, I will run deadly encounters as default. That is what I consider high or medium encounters. Or hard or medium encounters. And I won't go too much higher than deadly. Like, I won't double that. Unless it's supposed to be a fight they're supposed to run away from. So, oftentimes I will shoot for a CR that is 1.5 times the average. I find that to be a nice sweet spot. And of course, this is taking into account that, hey, I'm only throwing one in there. Well, what if I don't want to throw in one? I want to have a group. Okay. How many do I want? Usually I start with 2 dots. That tends to put us in a pretty good spot. Cool. 3,900. Okay, this is going to be one of your harder fights. Maybe I'll go down to CR7. If I can find it. Come on. Doesn't always work the way I want it to. Cool. I got a CR7. It's an easy encounter, as it should be. But we double it. Boom. Just over deadly encounter. Cool. That's 2 of them. If I want 3, you know, there's multipliers and stuff already built into it. I don't want to recreate the wheel. So, let's say a CR4. Cool. And maybe I make it, you know, I want 4 of them. Cool. 4 CR4s. That's going to give us a lot of room for expansion here. Like, I've got, so 2 CR7s, or was it 6s? I don't know. I forgot already. A CR12 and 4 CR4s. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. So 2 7s, 4 4s, and 1 12. Now, I personally like to do battles in terms of 3. I find that gives you a good roundabout of they don't just nuke the encounter. That's why I don't do a whole lot of random encounters outside of roleplay. Unless I'm going to take it up quite a notch. But that also risks one-shotting one of the characters, which I have almost done. Especially if you crit them. And I don't fudge rolls very often. It's an extremely rare event, and usually saved for levels 1 through 3, because that's just, I don't like it. So, okay. Cool. We know we want to go with Fiends. Now, I'm not going, my players like to watch my streams, so I am not going to show them exactly what this is from, but you can see that I'm going to go with Fiends. Great. We know an Abyssal Chicken. Seriously? Where did it go? Okay. I thought that would put me in the right spot, but I guess I was wrong. They used to list these as CRs, and I missed that. But, Verdant Princes. Wow, this is all over the place. Could be because I'm running this through the intranet instead of normal. So let's go ahead and let's find Abyssal. Boom, boom. Look at that. I'm gonna be smarter than the. Yeah. I like to beat my players. If I can make them cry, IRL, I have won. So maybe I want to throw, God, a chicken tree at him. 2 chicken trees, because it's CR7. I don't know what this is. Sometimes I don't even look at this. I don't care. I'll figure it out on the fly. If you need a little bit more prep time, you can do that too. But yes, the chicken tree. So, okay. I will go over to my little dude. Did I lose it? Huh. Okay. Well, snap. Okay. So, did I? There we go. We're going to go in here and we're going to look up tree for the chicken tree. Now, most of these don't come with pictures, so deal with that. This is a huge creature. And we're going to throw 2 of them in there. This should be a pretty tough fight for them. What's a bold strategy there? There, Adam. Is it you enjoying me? Enjoying the trauma that I build into everything? But no, but I will honestly go over and I use AI. You can hate me if you want. I don't care. Because actually, we're going to do this in my style. There we go. Now, what I like about this creature is I can make jokes. I have a recharge. I can hurl my sack at him. I appreciate such things. I do like to make penis jokes and fart jokes. And if you don't like it, well, that's too bad. Who invited you anyhow? No, I'm kidding. But we know he's got a multi-attack, meaty slam, or I can spawn a chicken. Rise, chicken, arise. Meaty slam, 48 plus 3. Cool. He's got 189 health. I know he's got some good immunities. It's not going to be a real hard fight because most of my players don't use poison. And as far as, like right now, they're dealing with a lot of creatures that are resistant to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. That's huge for them because almost all of them use that. So I will probably make this fight 2. So Adam, I play in a Curse of Strahd game with Adam, and I feel like he's taking things out on me because I torture his carcass pretty well in my campaign. So I'm pretty sure he's doing a little comeuppance. And he knows far too much about me at this point. He knows that I cannot make it through a session and not make a penis joke. Cloaca joke? Yeah, that's hit or miss. So let's see here. Is it done cooking? This is disturbing, and I love it. I am going to use this. Okay. And why am I going to use it? You shall see. Oh, shit. Cool. We've got this creature. Oh, not what I wanted to do. Cool. Never forget to click on the wrench. Otherwise it does things. Cool. we've got the Chicken Tree Goth Girl. Love it, hate it. It's my brand. Because who doesn't like disturbing goth girls? We'll modify. We'll bring it over here. We'll click on that. We'll apply. Dommy Mommy Goth Girl. Get rid of this one. Copy this one. Boom. Don't forget to add the item back for... Is it these nuts? Sug on these nuts? You can't do that to me. I was there when the scripture was written. I'm old, my guy. So yeah, nice large creature. Fun. It's going to waste a lot of their resources. And that is what I aim to do. How can they manage their resources? Any Tom, Dick, or Harry can get in there, and they can nuke the creature. Nuke them. And it's not a big deal. So if you do random encounters, give them a reason to burn their resources. But don't give them a long rest afterwards. That's the thing right there. Short rests or whatever. I'll give a lot of short rests. I usually try to limit it to 2 per long rest, but I have been known to throw a few more in there, especially once they run out of hit dice. It's funny. Yeah, Adam, the Sugandese. I've seen a skit on this. So that's one encounter. Now, I'll go through here. Cool. That's a nice, fun, jokey, whatever. All these are fiends, demons. Obviously, that comes with its own drawbacks. If they're a fiend, then a lot of your holy stuff can affect them, paladins. But then if you've got like a fiend warlock, some things just aren't going to work on them. Can't use your hurl through hell. So it's a nice little balancing act. What is this thing? So, okay, Babao. What is Babao? And if I say this wrong, well, oh well. Medium fiend, chaotic evil, grass nature of the abyss. So I'll use some of these things in here, some of this flavor text to just be like, okay, what the hell is this thing? These are ninjas from the Leaf Village is what I'm seeing. Shadow clones. Multi-shadow clones. I can work with that. Cool. Now, since I already know what I have in mind, I'm going to go ahead and preempt the AI to tell me, hey, Broseph, this is what I want. What was that? It was a Babao. Babao. Cool. Let's throw that guy on there. Little guy. Little guy? Don't worry about that little guy. What is he all about, right? Like, we looked at him, right? He's got a claw. Shadow clones. When it teleports, some magic. Murderous abduction. Huh. That's kind of fun. Teleport away with another creature. What can I say? I could just steal people. And he's got a lot of resistances on him. Cold, fire, lightning, bludgeoning, piercing, slashing. That's going to hit most of my group. The only one who's got anything, 2 people, are Paladin, who's a Pallylock. He can do a lot of psychic damage. Homebrew class. don't worry about it. If you're ever interested in it, I can post it for you. And if, let's see here, and probably our cleric can bypass it, which is cool. You don't want everybody to be completely weak against it unless it is in fact a weak creature. Otherwise, you get into that past 6 rounds thing I was talking about. So cool. I can pop up shadow clones whenever I teleport. And it does damage when it dies. That's awesome. I love that for them. Multi-attack. It can use its Ren magic, murder subduction, or 2 melee attacks. Cool. Apparently I can just spam these. I usually don't. That's just rude. And weakening glare. Melee attack. Cool. Battle forces the attacker to succeed on a Constitution saving throw or have the attack's damage reduced by half. So it kind of a pseudo resistance. That could work. And he's got a 40-foot walking speed. Did I lose Adam and Kyle and Anna? Did I lose all my people? Because that would suck. Huh. They don't have wings, so let's go with that. Again, let's go with my theme. Ah, good. Hi, guys. You were so quiet. I was so afraid. Cool. We've got Demon Ninja Lady. I can already hear it now. Cliff has already hit on her. Now, I may not always have the exact same creature here, especially if I've got 4. I'll probably do 2 and 2, just to keep them on their toes and make it a little more well-rounded. Obviously, groups are well-rounded, right? So having these groups well-rounded is nice, too. I probably won't do each one being different unless I plan on using them multiple times. Just it's a lot of work and a lot of prep. So I don't necessarily want to do that. So if you can see. Yeah. Raise dead often? Do I? I don't think I've ever used raise dead. Usually I get them before they make it that far, or I use gentle repos. Why spend the extra money? And then, unlike Revivify, a lot of the reviving spells require the soul to be willing. I don't care. I revive the guy. That's just me. Oh. Sorry. My bad, Adam. But yes. You've got anatomically correct bird, anatomically correct ninja. So, let's see here. We wanted a CR12. That's the biggest thing I have, or the hardest time I have is actually finding the right CRs. So, I'll scroll through. Challenge, in fact, I can do this. Challenge 12. Not what I want to do. Aberration. A lot of aberrations. Constructs. We're halfway there. Living on a prayer. dragons. Elementals. Fae. Krampus. Hey, Krampus was in here. Okay. Dragloth the Abomination. Gower. Or a Fury. You know what? Yeah, let's go up with the named creature. Or pseudo-named creature. Yeah, he's doing great. He's definitely not going to die. So, again, let's see what this guy's all about. His tactics. He's an abomination fiend. Web dweller. Okay. It screams at people, has webs, and uses shadows. Then does claws. This has got to be some form of spider creature, right? I'd like to think. In this situation, I might even add a Constitution saving throw to see if eggs get laid in the player. Because that's what traumatizing your players. That's really what it's all about. So let's see here. Demon, Spider, Goth Girl, and Goth CGI. This is exactly what we want. This is what the people want. And if they don't... What was the name of this damn thing again? Dragloth. Cool. Huge creature. Huge creature. Large creature. Large creature. Huge creature. Medium creature. Yes. Trump bonding is beautiful. Okay, this makes things perfect. Spiderkin. I missed that. Can climb difficult surfaces. Cool. Brutal Grace. Light and Rage. Does not... First attack. Oh. So it gets very mad if you have a torch. What are you lost on there, Adam? That's terrifying. Gains 5 temporary hit points for each creature it hit with an attack this turn. Because it... I don't know what you're saying. You got to use your words, my guy. I don't know what arrows mean. I'm not trying to be a dick. I don't know. Oh, that's terrifying. Yeah. I would say don't hit on her, Adam, but I know you will. Oh, Kylie? That's what you're getting at. I see. Cool. I'll leave this up on the screen. Tell me that's not absolutely terrifying. And I'll throw these pictures up too for you so you can see. I'll send you the video. Oh God. We'll put it in here. We'll go down to, I want this to be more seen. 85, perfect. Go to modify, I'll throw that in there, boom. This is what my players are going to fight. So, you don't get as great of a picture when I do this. Yeah, a little demon spider goth girl. Woman. I want to be very clear. Woman. And then Miku's nemesis. And the demon ninja in the hidden village of Yes. Water? Are you telling me to drink water? Is this what we've gone to? Am I now a water content creator? But yes, so this is what I will run probably, or at a minimum for a long rest. It depends if I'm going for an endurance run or if I'm going for just shock and awe. And of course, depending on, like I said, I don't look too closely at these. I'll play them, but sometimes I might be a little unbalanced. Miku's nemesis? Water? Oh, shit. You right. So one of my players, every time, so she's an Aarakocra, and she is a barbarian. She wants to get up close and personal. Well, there have been a few water fights, like in the ocean or something like that, or even over a small pond. And it's almost a running gag at this point that she is going to fly to the creature, something's going to happen, she's going to start drowning, and somebody's going to have to go rescue her. I don't actually plan those events out. Like I said, this is about as far as I think out. Oh, cool creature. Matches the CR, matches the vibe. Cool, I go with that. I got 3 encounters, and I throw them in there. And then when I get back into game, while my players are coming up with their turns or whatever the case is, I'll go in and be like, cool, they got a multi-attack, meaty slam. Do I want to spawn a chicken? I'll probably never use that. Honestly, I'll probably never use that. Hurl sack? Sure, I'll probably use that. Horrid scream? Sounds terrifying. So I may use, like, I'll refresh myself on these. Cool, this is their saves. This is, okay, poison, whatever. Neat. And then I'll do the fight. Sometimes it's a little unbalanced. Sometimes it's, and it could go either way. It could be too strong, not strong enough. Maybe I'll adjust it on the fly a little bit. Hey, 189 hit points might be a bit too much. It's not for my players. I very rarely change hit points. But I may add something like, I don't know. Does this thing not have a walking? Oh, it's a fucking tree. I guess it wouldn't have a walking speed. So that's something to take into account. This is the first time I've come across something that does not have a movement speed. So a ranged attacker could absolutely dominate this thing. But I like trance, whatever. So I may give this thing a 20-foot walking speed. But I may give it a 10-foot burrow speed. Why? Because I have traumatized my players with burrow speeds. How strong is it? 17? Yeah, I could definitely rip them down into the ground with a 17. Don't fail your grapple check. It has blind sight. It's a tree. Let's give it tremor sense. Out to 30 feet. Because I feel like a tree should have tremor sense, right? Now, I may add more encounters. Right now, my players are in an endurance run. I have given them some pretty difficult fights. Most of them are hard fights, according to the encounter builder, and that is to ensure that they don't die immediately. This should burn up a lot of their resources in general. Now, this is built for 4 people. Currently in my game, I have 6 people. So keep that in mind when you're building. Like it's going to change. You know, if 4 of these things will be a hard encounter or be a deadly encounter for 4 PCs, 6 of them will probably be needed for 6 PCs. This one's good. Apparently, 1 for 2. Oh, apparently we have disconnects already. Whatever. Let's see how my RAM's running. No, okay. So I take into account RP encounters as well, because they're going to want to use things. It's not always guidance. Maybe they want to do fast friends, or they want, I forget what the spell is, but it gives you advantage on charisma saving throws or dex saving throws. Maybe it's a talking encounter. Maybe I built in like a foot race or something. So now they're doing parkour off the side of buildings. No, these, Kyle, you won't. I'm not saying you'll never deal with these, since I made them, but very unlikely that you'll see them soon. But yeah, the combat creator, Adam, like you said, you take it with a grain of salt. It gets you into the outfield, for sure. I'm not gaslighting you. You're stuck in a fucking sarcophagus, my guy. I'd be less worried about what you might face and more, how am I going to get out of this thing? If, well, you know, when you turn back into a human or furbolg. So, there's that. I like to burn up my players' resources. If my players are engaged, they will manage their resources as best as possible. Sometimes it's just, you gotta nuke something. Like our barbarian, I think she's out of rages right now, which sucks. But if she wouldn't have used her rages when she used them, she'd probably be dead in character. I didn't have to include in character. But yes. So now she's out of rages. She planned well. So even if you plan perfectly, things happen. Sometimes you get knocked out of your rage. You know, if you get knocked down, your rage goes bye-bye. And I don't mean prone, I mean unconscious. I'll gaslight you, Kyle. I will. The other thing is like Adam was saying, is it doesn't take, or the encounter builder doesn't take into account abilities. And I did mention this at the beginning, Adam. I don't know if you joined a little bit later, but it doesn't take into account a lot of things. I would say if you're a brand new DM, go ahead and use that, especially if you got new people, or if you've got new people in general. They don't know what they can do. And you as a new DM, you know, use it up. It is a tool. You'll realize you're going through fights a little quicker than you were hoping, and then you'll be able to adjust on the fly. You know, I got a tree here. It's got a 13 AC. I might bump that up to, I don't know, 18, because an ironwood chicken tree. Or ninja lady, I might give her evasion. You know, if they're just tearing through them. And then this spider queen, honestly, I might just leave her alone. She looks mean as hell. And usually I definitely don't try to increase their damage if I can help it, because you never know if you'll crit and you'll just drop a player, and what's the fun in that? They'll be at full health, you crit them, and the next thing you know, they're completely out, and it's just, there's a time and place for it, but I just don't like to do that often. So Adam, Anna, Kyle, I think we have a lurker as well. Is there anything specific you want to know about encounters? We'll go ahead. We'll burn that up. I hate my chat being completely full. It bugs the absolute hell out of me. If there's anything that was unclear, I have added and removed baddies on the fly. I have actually decided on the go, like, hey, if they don't do anything in this room, I won't throw these mobs at them. And the reasoning in my head will be like, so on my last stream that we played, Tim, the artificer wizard, walks into this area. There's a sarcophagus. He made it through the doors and everything, kicked them open, whatever the case is. Walks in there. There was 2 ghosts that were invisible in there. I was gonna let them fly. They had just had a hard fight. There's so many other encounters. I didn't feel like going back to back to back with the combat. And I was like, cool, whatever. He opens up the sarcophagus. I'm like, we're getting dangerous here. He looks inside. He sees there's a skeleton in there. A knight-looking person with a sword, buried with his sword. It's rusted. And that's how I describe it to him. He's like, I take the sword and I give him a dagger. I'm like, that's not a fair trade anyway, you look at that. But he took the knight's sword. Well, next thing you know, the door's closed and locked, and he was stuck in there with 2 lovely ghosts. Now, those 2 lovely ghosts were supposed to be taken on by a party of 6. He proceeded to get stomped. He did come up with a pretty good idea. He used rope trick, and he shot up into the ceiling or whatever, and I could have done something with that, but I was like, sometimes you got to give your players a win for creative thinking. You made a mistake, let them get out of that mistake. I have used swarm creatures, and I would have to refresh myself on them. I know they take like half damage on the swarms. Armies are a completely different story, because there's group rules, there's swarm rules, and they're different. So if I had 10 commoners in a group, I could have them attack Bramble all at the same time. If they've got a +0 to attack, and Bramble has he has an 18 armor class. That means 2 out of 20 are going to hit you all the time. So that's what I'll do. I'll make sure you get hit twice, because that's the statistical average. I guess 3 times, because 18 is a hit too. 18, 19, 20. But I don't generally like to use swarms, and I don't like them. Nothing against them. I have used them in the past. Usually rat swarms. And you can get some good RP out of it. But I don't know, I just don't really like to use them. I like the creatures that are, they're one and dones. I don't have to think about anything about them. I can just plop them down. Cool. I know exactly what the rules are for all 3 of these without having to go look up swarm rules or group rules.
And yes, Adam, that was a perfect way for him to waste resources. Um, Actually, that because of that encounter, he didn't just waste his resources. He wasted a few people's resources because now he's stuck. People are trying to fight their way in, using the resources to get in that door. Because these ghosts were moonwraiths, that is what triggered Bramble's transformation. So now he's out of the fight and actively fighting against you. So what was supposed to be like a hard encounter for you guys ended up becoming a deadly encounter. So that was super fun, completely unplanned, but I dig the chaos. You know, I'm a big proponent of choices matter, and good, bad, or indifferent. You know, sometimes it works for you, sometimes it doesn't. You know, it's like if you go up to Strahd and you give him the finger. You know, a lot of people try to seduce Strahd. Some people try to give him the finger. Well, I mean, you know, it might not be your best course of action. And you may pay for it. And depending on your DM, that could be anything as subtle as them laughing at you and mocking you for being weak to, okay, roll initiative. Because you have upset a literal count. And at least historically speaking, a nobody who just visited a town insulting a count would result with you dying. Kyle, I know you had a good time. Because I watched you. You chased after Grashka so well. And then as soon as she tried to move out of your range, you're like, I'm going to use an opportunity attack. And you just started dropping bombs. And in case anybody is unaware, if you didn't watch the stream, he rolled nat 20s back to back to back. What was it, 3 in a row? Nat 20s? And then earlier in the session, our Aarakocra Barbarian, she rolled at disadvantage for something. I don't remember what. And it was 2 nat 20s. I was like, this is some shit. Well, Anna, did you bring snacks? Of course the werewolf isn't going to be happy with you. You didn't bring any treats. So you then in fact became a treat. Yeah. Nat 20 attacks. Fun fact, Grashka, she is wearing adamantine armor. We totally forgot that she doesn't take that extra damage from a crit because she is immune to crits. Grashka. Oh, don't worry. Don't worry, Anna. The next encounter you have, there was 3 creatures that you could have went up against. And you guys ended up stumbling into the hardest of the 3 creatures. So you say unless you die, you might. This thing is not a simple creature. Any other questions about our encounters? Because I know I talked a lot about combat. So if you have any questions, if you want me to dive a little bit deeper into like RP stuff that I do, or have done, we can do that. Oh, don't worry, Anna. You'll be fine. Death is temporary in D&D. You know that. You of all people should know that. I think one of the big ones that people like to use is Critical Role had a festival that they did, So people were using, you can use a lot of resources at that, animal handling and speak to animals or whatever, and then you swim underwater. It's a whole thing. Apparently, it's used very often in homebrew campaigns. So you can burn up your resources in that, especially if you're, games of skill. Artificer's going to use Flash of Genius, or bards are going to be dropping bardic inspiration like it's going out of style. Guidance isn't really a big issue, but you could give yourself advantage on certain rolls or whatever. I know when I played it, I think I played as a bard, and I think I still failed most of my events. My character could not roll above a 10 to save their life. So if it wasn't performance based, I was pretty much screwed. And he was a Goliath too, a Goliath bard who had bagpipes. Because if you're gonna be a bard, you're gonna be that tall. This is a big old Scottish dude. Is how I played him. So what do we got? What kind of questions do we have out there in chat land? And we don't have to talk about encounters if you don't want to. We can talk about anything else. I know Kyle was talking about doing an army. We could talk about puzzles. Puzzles are such a pain in the ass. They either get them right away or they'll never get them. Or you could do like I've done a time or two, and you don't know the answer to it either. You just wait for the third answer that happens to be good. Puzzles are just a pain. But I'm not kidding. Try that random number. Roll a d6 and whatever answer that person is, have that be the right answer. If it's good. Usually I have an answer to these. Sometimes I set a max limit, because even these first grade puzzles, riddles, whatever, I feel like nobody's ever in the right mindset to do them. They're simple. But I feel like everybody's ready for combat and not necessarily ready to think about riddles and puzzles. And then you have some players that just look it up. So try to find unknown puzzles and riddles if you're going to do it. Or rare, not unknown, that would be stupid, but lesser known. And unless it was the plan, try not to have too much of your session eaten up by puzzles. Give them their intelligence saves or intelligence ability check rolls to, maybe give them a hint or wisdom or investigation, or just something. And if it's gone too long, sometimes just take the roll out and use passives. I've played in games where none of us could roll worth a shit, and it wasn't a hard puzzle necessarily, but it still took up like 2/3 of the session, and it just got really boring and nobody cared at that point. It's like, you want to progress the story. You don't want to get stuck on one spot forever. Very big balancing act as a DM. And don't make all your rolls the same thing. Make them realistic, but not everything is an investigation. Just like not everything is a perception. I've thrown in insights from time to time, or religion checks. Hey, you're in a church. Yes, you could use an investigation to find the forbidden Bible that's in there, or You could roll religion because, I don't know, it's in your background or whatever. Or maybe you just read a book one time that said, oftentimes the priests or the padre or whatever they are keeps it in the pew at the front of the building or locked in their office. So at least have an idea of where to look. It points you in the right direction. And then you don't go stale. This is literally how my mind runs. I just start running shit through my head. But I think as a player first and as a DM second. So I always tell my players I'm a player who happens to DM. But I think it is about time we start wrapping up if we don't have any more questions. So, all right. That is the StepDaddy's DM desk. I appreciate all of you being here. Follow if you want more, and I'll